What's going on, guys? No Job Rob back here with another video. In today's video, I just wanted to talk to you guys about the truth when it comes to making money online. So I just wanted to bring up a couple of points for some people, especially as they're new or they're unfamiliar with the concept of making money over the internet. There exists, and rightfully so, a lot of skepticism about what's a scam, what's actually real. And I'm just going to start by coming right out and saying that almost every online business model that you're going to encounter is legitimate. Anything that's telling you it's an automatic push-button system that is going to make you money without any effort at all is misleading. But you're going to encounter a lot of content having to do with affiliate marketing and drop shipping. There's making money on YouTube. There are the various Amazon-based businesses. And once you understand how these work and what people are actually doing, I'm not talking about the specific skills that they're implementing in order to do this and, you know, sort of the step-by-step nuances of things that they tweak in order to be successful with it. I'm just talking about the overarching business model and what's actually taking place. Then you can actually see for yourself that this is exactly what's happening. You know, you can see that people are creating content that's getting a lot of views and it has affiliate links, and a certain percentage of people are clicking these affiliate links, and the people who created the content are earning commissions off of that. It's something that I've done myself on a small scale, and you can also notice with a simple Google reverse image search, the people that are taking products from wholesale websites, something like Alibaba or AliExpress, and selling those same exact products on different platforms for a marked up price and collecting the profit by sending people a product that they never even had, just ordering it from a wholesaler and sending it to the customer. So yeah, I mean, of course, there are a lot of scams. There are a lot of like pyramid scheme type of quote unquote opportunities. But I can tell you from my limited firsthand experience and just from my understanding about all these different business models and how they work, that it is very real. But something that you need to be careful to avoid is comparing yourself to people who have already achieved success in making money online. Because when you encounter people who have succeeded in online business, what that tends to mean is that they've reached the point in their business where it's largely able to run without them actively devoting their time to it. Essentially, that's the goal, is removing yourself from the business as much as possible and working on the business as opposed to in the business. And if these people are savvy enough to reach that point, then they also realize that the easier and more profitable they're able to portray everything, the more money they're going to continue to make, because people are going to be more interested in their content. So what I did when I first started going on YouTube, looking up make money online videos, and I encountered a lot of like Shopify gurus, and there was just a horde of kids, like 18-year-old kids, that had all achieved millionaire status, or at least that's the impression that they were putting out, is that they were able to grow these hugely successful Shopify stores, just drop shipping products from China. And I'm sure some of them were just doing it for the views or to sell courses, but you know, there were a lot of people that were a lot more reputable and transparent, and I respected what they said and the success that I could see that they had achieved. But I found myself saying, oh, okay, well, I mean, if these young kids can do it, you know, I'm 27 at the time. You know, I like to think I'm a reasonably intelligent person. I have a history of being able to learn things effectively and teach myself things. And I have more life experience and wisdom that comes through that than these people do. So I said, you know, if it's easy for them, there's no reason why it can't be easy for me. And a couple of the factors that I was ignoring, even though some of them would go out of their way to point this out, still, when you see the image and you get excited about it, you know, you start to form a different concept around it. And the concept that I was forming was just that I wasn't necessarily aware of any tribulations that these people had to go through in order to reach that point, even though they were only, you know, 18, 19, making substantial income online. The majority of these people still spent years, you know, it's a bug that they got even earlier on in their teens, and they spent years in their rooms at their parents' houses, pretty much doing the same thing that I did, you know, trying to look through all these YouTube videos, trying to find the magic solution, and they encountered countless failures on their way to eventually having that breakthrough. I actually had a conversation with Andrew Monheim from the channel Millionaire by 21. I really admire what he's been able to do. He's about 10 years younger than me, but I still was able to learn quite a bit from him, and I actually had the opportunity to speak directly with him, and I know he's talked about this on some recent videos as well, but you know, you kind of see that he's very young, and he had this meteoric rise on YouTube. He went from about 1,000 to over 90,000 subscribers within a matter of months. But he said this, it took him about 3 years of really not accomplishing anything, you know, before he was able to reach that point. So comparison is such a toxic thing. Even when I very first started learning about alternative ways to make money other than have a job, and I read the 4-Hour Work Week, and I just became so fixated on this idea of working just a few hours a week on your business and having it run largely passively. And I haven't read the book in a while. I actually loaned it to a friend who I thought was underachieving, and I kind of wanted to see them achieve some success possibly in having their own business. But as it turns out, they just weren't interested in entrepreneurship, and that's not something that you can try to instill in someone else. So it's been a good 4 years since I read it. I'm sure he mentioned this in the book that there were a lot of tribulations that he went through. This is talking about Tim Ferriss. Now he's an incredibly successful blogger and podcaster and investor, and he's written a number of other best-selling books. But I mean, he was killing himself working on a supplement company that he had started. But through all this pain that he was encountering, it led him to eventually figure out how to automate his entire business. This is before this was really common practice. He wrote the book in about 2006. So it sort of became the Bible for modern online business and entrepreneurship. And he outsourced basically everything that the business required to run on a day-to-day basis. He hired virtual assistants, and he was able to travel overseas and not touch his business at all, and it continued to run profitably for him on autopilot. And again, I made the mistake of using that to form my outlook, to compare myself as far as how I was going to go about creating a business. And I just didn't have the right mindset about actually putting my head down, putting in the work and the effort to acquire these skills for myself. So that's my own fault, but I also see a lot of people do this, and it's very difficult to avoid with social media, YouTube, comparing yourself to people that are already successful, comparing yourself to the highlight reel of other people's situations. Instagram is probably the greatest offender when it comes to this, and if you follow people who are successful or project the image of success on Instagram, then you're going to form an unhealthy complex of inferiority and just saying like, okay, I should expect to be like this person, and you don't really understand the nature of their situation and what it actually took to get there. So yeah, guys, take it from me. I mean, I spent way too much time just acquiring information and looking for the easiest possible way to make money, when if I had really just done the work and sucked it up, then there's no doubt in my mind that I'd already be earning 6 to 7 figures by now. But I'm also glad that it hasn't been easy. I mean, when I first got into business and I started doing eBay, was my first business model, and pretty instantly, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to sell things on eBay, but I was still generating thousands in sales. And this was right around the time that Bitcoin saw its meteoric rise. So I bought into Bitcoin, and instantly I increased my investment pretty substantially, which I then went on to lose all of. But I had a taste of success at the beginning, and that sort of affirmed all these wrong ideas in my mind and led me to take my foot even further off the gas pedal. So really the best thing that I could have done was just find a particular business model that actually did resonate with me and focus on nothing other than that business, and also not grind away, because I had a grind mentality, and I said, if I spend pretty much all my free time working on online business, working on acquiring knowledge and skills, then there's no way that I won't succeed. But then I kind of got slapped in the face by the idea of busyness versus productivity, and I was working hard and not smart, to the extent that you can say, sitting at home on my computer all day was working hard, and just watching YouTube videos for the most part. So working smart would have entailed, again, narrowing in that focus on that one particular skill or business, and not overexerting yourself, blocking out an amount of time, a couple hours a day, 2 to 4 hours a day, where you focus on nothing else but advancing in this one particular thing. Because it's going to create so much stress and anxiety for you when you're not working smart, and you're going to get that higher degree of burnout, and it's going to just be so much more difficult to progress, and it becomes a cycle of self-sabotage. So the last thing I kind of just wanted to touch on, which really helped me, was to pay more attention to what people do versus what they say. Because coming back to the original point, it's very difficult to differentiate between the scams and the legitimate opportunities, because a lot of the legitimate information products that you're going to encounter also seem very scammy, and they use very buzzy, salesy language to try to make anything they're doing sound like it's as easy and profitable as possible, when that may be a bit misleading as far as what your actual expectation of it should be. And I don't blame marketers necessarily for doing this, because it's literally the difference between making 1/10 on your work or making 10 times the amount of money for the same amount of work that you put in, because they understand it's going to increase the conversions, in other words, the percentage of people that are actually going to purchase the product, the easier that they actually make it sound. And I'm going to give a lot of credit to Brendan Mace. He's maybe the foremost creator of information products right now online in the information marketing niche. And while he does provide a lot of value, I also find his products to be probably the greatest offenders when it comes to the sort of scammy, salesy language. Oh, make $1,000 in 45 seconds when you buy this $7 product. You know, that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. I'm sure you've probably seen it by now. And I give him credit because he actually came out with a video on his channel pointing this out, what he was doing. And he was like, listen, I know this is what I'm saying on all my products, but you know, you guys need to get the right perspective on this. He was like, I know a lot of you don't really know any better, but obviously that's too good to be true. You know, anything that sounds that way is probably not going to be legit. He was like, pay more attention to the things that I'm actually doing and why I'm doing them. Obviously, I'm continuing to do them because they're extremely profitable for me. And he took the viewer step by step through the funnel, or in other words, the series of pages that they would be encountered with as they get introduced to the product and sort of warmed up to the program and the different upsells that exist. So it would be like, okay, you pay, you know, $7 to $12 on the front end, and you get access to the course, but then you get introduced with a second offer that says, you know, you can't really get the most out of this course unless you pay, you know, another $30 or $40 right now. And it's like a process of identifying another problem that that person is going to encounter, even though they've already, you know, bought this course that promised them the world. You know, he had to do all of that to get them in the door. And then from there, you know, there might be a downsell. If the person says no to the upsell, then they might get the option to purchase a version of that same thing for cheaper on the next page. And then it usually continues with like 2 or 3 more, and they increase in price. And by you signing up to the course, they have your email address, so they're able to follow up with you with more offers, or, you know, try to convince you to buy the things that you may have passed on. And by making that transition from being so focused on the claims that they were making to actually paying attention to the strategies and quote unquote funnel hacking them and reverse engineering what worked, I felt like that was so much more helpful, because no matter how good the product was, I was actually learning, even not even by buying these products that I was encountering, you know, just seeing what people were doing, you know, successful marketers that had, you know, large email lists and they were very profitable. That very much applies to a lot of YouTubers. You know, people are making all kinds of claims. People can say whatever they want on YouTube, but if you look at the success of their channel, you know, you see the affiliate links that they're putting in their descriptions, you see when they're placing the ads in their videos, you see, you know, how they're structuring the content throughout the video. You know, clickbaity titles are so prevalent. You know, everyone kind of has to do it. You know, it's not even a matter of people want to be scammy or they want to be misleading, but they know that their effort is just not going to give them that return on investment if they don't do it. You know, people's hands are pretty much tied, so you might as well just kind of learn how to do it the best and work it to your own advantage. So I thought that was just kind of an important mindset shift for people to understand, because a lot of people with that sideline mentality, you know, a lot of people are haters and they like to say, oh, you know, you're just a scammer, you made a clickbaity claim, but they're missing an opportunity to actually learn from a person and replicate the success that they are having. So again, just try to pay less attention to what people are saying, more to what they're doing, and try to reverse engineer what they're doing and see what you can learn from and apply and replicate. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Thank you for checking out the video today. This has been No Job Rob. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll be coming back at you guys with more uploads designed to give you more time, location, and financial freedom in your lives. Thank you for watching, and have a great day, everybody.